Hi there and welcome back. This is a shop update for WB Fine Woodworking for February 1st, 2019. Wow, it's been more than 2 months since my last shop update. I'm really sorry about that, but I've been very busy. Actually, not really busy in the shop. Over the holiday season this year, I really kind of had a lot of fun with my family and friends and didn't get a lot of shop time. I sort of made up for last year when I was recovering from heart surgery, and the holidays were a little subdued. You might use a little stronger word there, but subdued is okay. So this year I sort of kind of celebrated with family and friends and had a lot of fun. You may have already seen the video that I put out on my turning. I turned the ice cream scoop handles on the lathe. And that video came out a few weeks ago. One of the things I discovered though with that particular video, it's a little long. And I tried to shorten down as best I could, but I know I made it too long. So what I'm going to do is make some videos on the subjects that I covered in that video, but separate them out. I'll have a video on the Nova lathe and why I picked the Nova. A little bit of a review and critique of this particular lathe. I also want to look at lathes for beginners. What should a beginner start with? Sort of depends on what you want to turn, but what kinds of things should you look for in the lathe? Another is the tools for beginners. What tools? Do I need that whole big box of tools that they sell for, what, $75? I think that's what I paid for mine. Or can you get by with just a few really better tools? And so I'll be covering that. And also be doing a video on actually batching out projects like I tried to do in that particular one. How do I batch out projects and what did I learn from what I did? So I'm going to be putting out several different videos, and so you need to stay tuned for that if you're interested in all in turning. Speaking of videos, my next one is almost ready to release. I'm still working on the editing. I'm having a little trouble with voiceover, but that video is going to cover how I get rid of these flex brushes and what I'm using instead for when I do glue ups. And actually right behind me over there on the outfeed table is glue up, and I'll talk about what's going on back there in a few minutes. On the subject of voiceovers, I do have a new microphone on order, and as soon as that comes in, I'll redo the voiceover on the video on gluing and get that put up on YouTube as soon as possible. It'll just take a while because I have to wait till the mic comes in. I know that this lavalier mic is a little muffled, has sort of a muffled sound. I understand that. It'll be a while before I can replace this one. I want to get a wireless microphone, and those are quite a bit more expensive. And I just spent a lot of money on new vices for my workbench. So the funds are a little short right now, partly because I spent more money than I thought I was going to spend on the vices. Speaking of the workbench, coming right up. Well, the wood for the workbench base has been milled up for quite a while, and it's been leaning over here against the wall. You probably have seen it in some of the shots that we have of the videos. And I used Douglas fir. And the reason I chose Douglas fir is due to availability here in Southern California and the cost. I wanted to keep the cost down as much as I could. And Douglas fir will work out just fine. So I do have the wood. I was able, though, the other day to pick up this beautiful piece of walnut, and this is going to be for the chops for the vices. And so I am going to have some fancy wood on the bench. I have to look at it and use it, so I decided to go all out and get some really nice walnut. So I'll be using that on the bench as well. So on the workbench, as you saw, I have all the wood milled up. I finally finished my design, and I've started the mortises for the legs, for the end pieces that will support the bench. The vices are here. I chose to go with some more expensive vices than I had planned to go with. I ended up with a Veritas twin screw vise. I'm going to use the 24-inch long one. I'm used to that. My workmate that I have has a 24-inch span in that vise. And since I've been using that for over 30 years, I figured that a 24-inch vise would be one that I would enjoy. So I'm going to have the 24-inch Veritas twin screw vise. And the end vise is also a Veritas vise. I found a sliding end vise that has a quick release, and Veritas sells it. I didn't even know they existed until just recently. I was searching through and looking for vices and looking for ideas, and I found some videos. There's only a couple on YouTube that I could find that showed this particular vise, and I thought it's just the perfect thing, just exactly what I wanted. So there'll be a whole lot more on that particular vise, and I have not seen a video that shows it being installed on a workbench. So I'll definitely include one of those in my series of videos on the workbench. Speaking of the videos for the workbench, they're going to be released after it's done. I decided that what I'm going to do is do the whole workbench, get that all built, concentrate on that as we go, concentrate on taking the video shots, but then releasing the videos all together after the workbench is done. And there's going to be some reasons for that as coming down the road. But on these shop updates that I'm going to be doing, and hopefully they'll be a little more often than I'm doing right now, on the shop updates, I'll be updating you on what's going on with the workbench and what else is happening in the workshop. I am working on some other things other than just the workbench. Well, first of all, my apologies to those of you in colder climates. It was getting warm in here, and so I had to shed the jacket. Yes, I know some of you are going through some suffering cold in your garages or shops, and sorry about that, but the weather here in Southern California right now is beautiful. I know you can't really see outside the windows too well in this shot, but believe me, it's gorgeous out there. This is where my workbench is going to go. It's going to sit under these two windows. I plan to put it here because I'll have plenty of light coming in from the windows to see what I'm doing. I'll also put it on casters eventually. I'm not sure when I'll get those on it, whether they'll be right away or later on, so that I can move it out away from the windows if I want to, but most of the time it will sit up in front of these windows. That's one reason I've been working on this tool wall here to hang on my tools. They'll be right above the bench and very handy for me. But windows cause a problem as far as not having wall space. So that's the project that I've been working on this week, and what I had in the glue up over there is one of these. This is going to be a frame that's going to go in the window here. It'll go in like this, if I can get it there. It'll go in like this, and it will swing out like this when I want to open or close the windows, or when I need to clean them, which is something I probably need to do right now. But it's going to go up here again, and this will swing out and swing closed. On this end over here, I'm going to put a piano hinge, and I'll put a latch up here. So that's coming. I'm working on it. I have one of the frames all glued up and ready to go. I have the second frame in the clamps right now as we speak. and I have a third one for the other window. Whether I do that one right away, I'm not quite sure or not, because this is where the workbench is going to go, and I need to get these up before I stick the workbench there. So that's going to be one of those. If you have windows in your shop, this might be something that you would like to try to do. And I'll have videos, of course, out on what I'm doing on this and how I came up with this idea and how it works. So that's what I've really been working on the last few weeks here in the shop, and decided to include it today on the shop update. I thank all of you who have subscribed to our channel. We've picked up some subscribers lately, and I greatly appreciate that. All of you that have viewed my videos, I greatly appreciate that. It's something that I enjoy doing, but unless I have people watching out there, I'm just watching myself talk, and I don't really have time for that. Taking videos actually sometimes triples the amount of shop time, and then on top of that is the editing time. So I spend a lot of time on these, and unlike most of the others, I don't get any money for this at all. And I don't regret that. That's fine. I don't care. I even approached Rocklear for permission to use one of their photos in one of my videos, and all they did is sent me information as to how I could apply to get money for doing my videos from them. And of course, they wanted to know how many subscribers and viewers and all that. I'm sure whoever got the application just kind of laughed and brushed it off and threw it in the trash can, because obviously my numbers aren't that big. But I don't care really, as long as there's some people out that are viewing and watching and hopefully getting some good information that will help them. That's what I'm trying to do. So I don't have any sponsors. I don't get any money from YouTube. I don't have any money that comes in. Everything you see, I've bought. Now, one of the vices, I was really lucky to get the twin screw vise. I actually got the one that's about 16 inches long. I got that for less than half price. I found it on Facebook Marketplace. So I am able to save a little money, but just about everything else that's in here, I've bought brand new. You know, that's what I do. I don't go and look for used materials or used machines a lot. That's just not something that I've been normally doing. In fact, that vise was the first thing I bought off of anything like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. And it was a really great deal, and I was really happy to get it. But that's what I do. So I greatly appreciate all of you for watching, and we'll see you next time. I appreciate you for checking out my channel. There are a couple of videos over here that you may want to watch if you haven't watched them already. And if you'd like to subscribe to our channel, you can just click on the logo.